When I was young, I had a lofty dream of being a tenured professor at some university. I loved to teach, I loved to read, and I loved to write. However, there was a glitch in my learning style or brain wiring. No single subject interested me enough. Every subject was interesting. I submerged myself sequentially in each of them, exploring the subjects like a wannabe expert would by starting from the basics and moving upwards. I was a very smart student. I even was able to dig in to find nuances, discrepancies, and even possibilities of new discoveries in that subject. But then, without fail, a repulsion that I could not deny for that subject would occur. Suddenly, I would get a vision of transcending that subject into other subjects or fields. The technicality of the subject would begin to burden me. Slowly, I would be unifying that particular subject I was studying with those subjects I saw in the earlier vision. At this point, it was a point of no return. I knew that I will not be able to specialize in that subject in any ways. In this way, my desire to be a tenure professor slowly disintegrated. This cognitive style of mine surely didn't get me a PhD, but it led to a state of intellectual fulfillment that is at par with creatives like Leonardo da Vinci. I always knew that there was nothing wrong with my brain, but it took me all those decades to come up with this four brain learning approach model that explains the behavior of my cognition. Also, I realized that I might be using this four brain learning approach excessively, but it is present in all of us to some extent. This is why this book resonates with so many people, including you. In this chapter of mathematics, as per my four brain learning approach, I began by challenging conventional pedagogy of going directly to teaching the procedurial aspect of mathematics. That I did, but in the second step. First, I believed the reason students are not able to love mathematics is that they could not see its application in real life. Now, only after the interest in mathematics is raised, we can make the student be curious about mathematics. Even the skills and theoretical aspect of mathematics that the current syllabus prescribes to the student is half cooked. So I explain the various realms and components of mathematics in a way that would stick in the student's mind. In this way, I completed the two brain quadrants. Then in the last section, I talked about how mathematics shaped the way we think. I have rebelled against the establishment because mathematics cannot be limited to just its formula and theories. It must be allowed to pervade into everything else, starting with our thinking patterns. In my case, I did it myself, but through this book, you now have a reference to start up your own rebellion against the orthodox teachings of mathematics. In this section, I want to complete my rebellion by introducing you with the fourth brain quadrant in my four brain learning approach. Whereas in the third quadrant that I have called the knowledge brain quadrant or green brain quadrant, I described how mathematics shapes our thinking. Here, I describe how creative people, eclectics, originals, did not abide to the traditional approach to mathematics and were able to cross pollinate their skills and knowledge of mathematics into other fields. I have called this crossover of math to other areas as bridging. As you can see in the diagram below, I have subdivided it into three parts. First one is the full bridging, where the conceptual part of mathematics is merged with other fields along with its application. The second one, I have called it semi-bridging, where the other field doesn't require the application of mathematics but uses its concepts only. Then the third one I have called minor bridging. This is an extension of what we learned in the earlier section on how math shaped our brain. Here, math is merged with other fields only as a metaphor or analogy. I have placed plenty of details and examples in the diagram if you are interested. So I will just brush through the various examples for each of the three types of bridging of mathematics into other fields. The objective is to illustrate the four-brain learning approach of any subjects, here mathematics. Let's start with the minor bridging type. In the examples below, you can see how mathematics is used to describe various aspects of life like love, life itself, driving, personal growth, decision making, friendship and relationships, stress, personal boundaries, time management, communication. I will add one that is not in the diagram about stories. Isn't it amazing that every good story follows a parabolic trajectory where there is a rising climax and a falling? In literature, they are referred as three-act stories. In this way, we have merged algebra with storytelling. So you see, mathematics was always there, but again, because of our ancestors who had highly evolved four-brain learning styles, were able to find the math in existence and develop theories, procedures, formulas, skills from them. Then in the second category of semi-bridging, you will see that the concepts of mathematics are seriously used in philosophy. The writers like Gödel explore the logic that is derived from mathematics. Then we will see the concept of mathematics in literary theory, narrative studies, in various theoretical psychological and cognitive models, theoretical sociological frameworks. Even they are found in theology and spirituality. Some philosophers and writers have used mathematical concepts in ethics and moral philosophy. It's also used in urban studies and architecture, which is quite obvious. Less obvious would be the use of mathematics in musical theory and even jurisprudence or legal philosophy. I thought I was alone in my four-brain learning approach. However, I realized that I have so many colleagues. Finally, in the category of the full bridging, where math is used with all its nuts and bolts along with its concept in unexpected fields. We find machines like the MRI or medical imaging technology. These things heavily rely on mathematics, especially algebra and calculus. So math is used in biology and medicine where we think it shouldn't belong. It's also used in linguistics, arts and music. You'll also find the application of mathematics in the sports analysis, environmental science and climatology, and even law. My point, dear reader, is not to provide you an exhaustive list of such bridging, cross-pollinations, or crossovers of math into other fields. That I believe other books and writers can do much better. My point is to inspire you to rise above a single brain approach to learning. Instead, adopt the four braining learning approach. First, find out how math is used in the real world in your day to day observations. Then find the motivation to learn the basic blocks and skills of mathematics so that you can build upon them and use them to build this cathedral of mathematical skills. Then allow your brain to be transformed at every level of thinking and mental actions from the skills you developed in mathematics. Finally, internalize those information, skills, and knowledge. Produce wisdom that will enable you to use the concepts of mathematics in unrelated fields. If possible, learn to apply the mathematical rigor in those fields. If not, let your mathematical wisdom spill over in your communication in the form of metaphor and analogies. I am guilty as charged. This chapter will not make you an academician and will certainly not help you secure tenure as a professor in your university of choice. And forget the PhD in math. However, what this chapter has done for you, if not will do for you, is that you will see a holistic way to study mathematics. You will be able to love mathematics. And that is the objective of this whole book, that you love your studies, math being one part of it and a very major part of it.